This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to another victorious edition of the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction to every single game. And this one feels just a little bit more sweet. The Rays do exactly what we talked about last Sunday. They clinch a 500 road trip. They take at least 2 out of 3 from the best team, or the best home team in baseball. And I was going to say the best team in the National League. They're the best team they're the best home team in baseball. And this, we're going to talk about how this Rays offense is on fire. We're going to talk about how Drew Rasmussen was not the best, but how it didn't matter. We're going to talk about how these are just a huge 2 wins for the Rays. And then we're going to look ahead to see what the Rays need to do to pick up a sweep. But first, let's talk about this offense striking at such key times.
This is what you'll be talking about.
This was almost the same as yesterday, but in a little bit of a different way, right? The Rays score first. Josh Lowe, really good to see him break out of a slump. And then we see Brett Baty, who is just a Rays killer. He immediately ties the game right after. And then not only do they tie the game, the Mets take the lead. And how many times have I said the Mets, or not the Mets, the Rays have failed to get a shutdown inning after scoring so many times this road trip. But just like last night, the Rays responded in such a huge way the very next inning. And that's where we get to our turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
It's a Junior home run. And because right away, it was the first batter after the Mets took the lead. And then Junior immediately comes up and just sends one, pimps one into left field. And that was his first hit of the road trip. He was on like an 0 for 17. And his 0 for 17, it's hard to say an 0 for 17 like isn't atrocious, but his 0 for 17 was really like less bad than others, I guess is the correct way to say it, because he's still been putting together good at-bats. He's still been putting good wood on the ball. But this one, he finally got to another inside pitch. He just lifted it out. And then from there, the Rays went to work. From there, they just started really going. How good is that to have Matt Thaiss on this team? I mean, what an upgrade from Ben Warfare. I mean, what an under-the-radar pickup from Eric Nylander and company to just continue to have this Rays team moving on the right track. And getting rid of Ben Warfare and bringing in Matt Thaiss, who, since he has joined the Rays, he has another 2 hits today. Since he has joined the Rays, he already has 4 hits. He is 4 for 16. He's hitting right around 250. His on-base percentage is over 400. I mean, that's all the Rays need from a backup catcher, and he's been fantastic. He had another 2 hits today. And then he was able to get on, and then, boom, Brandon Lowe. He is hot right now. Hits another single. Scores Thaiss. Walls gets a third. Yandy had a triple today. Anytime Yandy gets a triple, it's almost like a Brandon Lowe home run. You need to win that game. And, obviously the Rays did, but that was in the 6th inning. We'll get to that. Yandy singled. He's also been really good of the late. Look out. Yandy's average, we talked about yesterday, got up to 263 yesterday. Another 2 hits, 2 RBIs, 265 now. Yandy's starting to get really warm. And then obviously it was a craziness with Brandon Lowe scoring on the McGill wild pitch. And the Rays chased McGill. It's just after 3 2/3. He allowed 7 hits and only 3 earned, but it felt like a whole lot more. That's because the Rays were just putting constant pressure on him. Everyone in the lineup, even the guys that didn't get a hit. I even thought, Cameron Meisner put together, even though he struck out 3 times, put together at least one decent at-bat. It was the whole lineup putting constant pressure on McGill. That allowed the Rays to get out in front. And yesterday, it was the 2-3-4, getting at least 2 hits. Now, 1, 2, 3 in the Rays order with at least 2 hits. I mean, the top 5 of this Rays order I've talked about, they're the key to the Rays' success, and they've really been shining as of late. So the Rays immediately respond with their Mets going up 2-1. They responded yesterday with the Mets going up 5-2 with a 6-run inning. They respond with a 5-run inning this time. Just massive. And then they finally get a shutdown inning after that. Then they add another one with another Taylor Walls double. And that's where we're going to get to our surprising player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
How about Taylor Walls 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, including 2 doubles and the sacrifice bunt that got a little wacky that ended up actually leading to a Rays run. But anytime Taylor Walls gets 2 hits, it almost feels like an objective to give him the player of the game, because it doesn't happen too often, but it's been happening pretty often this season. So very happy for Taylor Walls. I said it. If Taylor Walls can be a 210 to 220 hitter, he'll have value on any MLB roster. He's up to 219 now. I think the Rays are doing a really good job of platooning him and Cabby. So they've been doing a really, really good job of that. So his double in the 5th inning kind of gave the Rays even more breathing room. When the Mets were able to add on 2, it was already the Rays got that 7. So it was obviously in 7-4. And if the Rays would have kept it 6-4, things would have gotten a little bit more tight, but they were able to extend that lead. So big shout out to Brandon Walls in this whole offense. So if you guys are in the live, make sure you leave a like and comment. We'll be getting to the comments right after. Again, another day, I want to shout out all the Rays fans that are at Citi Field. I mean, just a great Rays turnout last night and again today. Again, we're a little bit on live a little bit later today because of the rain delay. But I'm really happy that the Rays fans were able to show out in a big way. Obviously, I know Gary's there just for one, but really happy to see a lot of Rays fans in Citi Field. But just a huge 2 wins. We talked about after losing the series to the Red Sox, how tough it would be. The Mets won 6 in a row coming into this game. And then the Rays needed to take 2 out of 3 to at least clutch a 500 road trip. They've already done that. Now they can go get a little bit greedy. Right now, they're back up to 38 and 32. I mean, this team is really on a stretch. And again, the Blue Jays lost again. So those 2 games the Blue Jays gained on them, right back down. The Rays are now all of a sudden in 2nd place in the AL East. And doing this for a team that was the best team in baseball at home, it's just ultra impressive. I'm so impressed with this Rays team and doing it without Rasmussen having his best stuff. And we'll quickly talk about Ras because he was able to get around a few things, but 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned, just 3 strikeouts. Easily his worst outing since over a month ago with the Milwaukee game where he gave up 3 earned on all the way back on May 11th. So again, it's nothing to be too concerned about. I'm still trust Ras just a bunch, but I think it shows how good the Rays are that they were able to win with a subpar Drew Rasmussen start and that this offense got on McGill quick. I said in this one, the Rays had the starting pitch advantage that McGill gave up a lot of runs leading up to it. He had a really strong first 5 starts. His start since then, not so good. The Rays were able to bounce on that really, really quickly, and that's, I think, the main reason why the Rays won. But we are going to talk about the Rays offense again, just being on fire as of late. And we're going to look at to see what the Rays need to do tomorrow to get a sweep right after this. This episode is brought to you by Trade Coffee. Let's be real. Coffee isn't just a drink. It's a ritual, a lifeline, and a thing that gets you from half asleep to fully functioning. And if it's that essential, why settle for anything less than amazing? That's where Trade Coffee comes in. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S., delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're a cold brew fan or a pour-over purist, they've got a roast you'll love. I took Trade's quiz. It only took a minute, and the first bag they sent me was spot on. Trade is so committed to giving you guys the best coffee. I highly, highly recommend you guys do. You guys can take a quiz on Trade's website, which we'll get to in a second. It literally kind of gets it down to what coffee they think is best for you. And then if that coffee isn't best for you, then they'll send it back until it's right for you. So right now, Trade is exclusively offering our customers 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/LockedOnMLB. That's TRADE.com/LockedOnMLB for 50% off your 1-month trial. Again, that's drinktrade.com/LockedOnMLB. This episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances and major momentum shifts and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game. Before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Again, you guys know Stanley Cup playoffs, I believe, are tonight, and then the NBA Finals start back again on Monday. So if you guys think the Pacers are going to bounce back, you can bet Pascal Siakam to have 25-plus points and Tyrese Halliburton to have 20-plus points. And that's what the same-game parlay, that is my favorite. And even better, if you're new to FanDuel, it's a perfect time to sign up because if you head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet, if it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. So let's keep talking about this offense because this is now back-to-back games. Again, another 12-hit game for the Rays. They've scored at least 7 runs in back-to-back games. They had 12 hits Yesterday, they had 12 hits today, 13 yesterday. I mean, something about being in Queens have this offense alive and well. And like I said, it's the middle of the lineup really doing the damage. It's Brandon Lowe, it's Yandy Diaz, back-to-back multi-hit games. Yesterday, they each had 3 hits. Today, just 2, but each of them combined for 4 hits and 3 RBIs and just 1 strikeout, which I think is so key. In a game where Aranda went 0 for 4 with a walk, being able to pick those up with Josh Lowe, who I said yesterday, who was putting together really better at bats. It was about time some of his balls kind of landed for hits after he had so many lineouts. It finally happened today. And then obviously with Theis having the 2 hits, Magnum as well with the double, he always puts up good defense and good at bats on a daily basis. So this Rays offense, I mean, it's some stuff to really be excited about. And now the Rays have won. They've only lost 1 series since mid-May. And this team just continues to roll. And we talked about, they lost back-to-back games the other day when they lost 2 to Boston for the first time since it was like May 18th and 19th. Will they let that spiral? Good teams don't let it spiral. And they didn't. We also talked about yesterday. Will the Rays be better at limiting their mistakes? Only 1 walk and 0 errors today. I would say that's better at limiting their mistakes. I believe they have 6 walks and 2 errors yesterday, plus a hit by pitch, which is just unacceptable. And I said yesterday, the Rays have done a really good job at not having those bad, messy performances kind of compound in multiple games. And they didn't allow that today again. So really good for the Rays. Huge win, picking up a really big series against the best team in the National League, guys. I mean, this is huge. I mean, this is big time stuff. The Mets were, until this game, there were 20 games over 500. I mean, this is a team that were the best team at home. And ever since the 5th inning of yesterday's game, the Rays have just taken it to them. And the resolve and grit of this team, especially on the offense, has really been something to smile about. So if you guys are in the live, make sure you leave a comment. We're going to preview the game tomorrow, and then we will get right into the comments. The game tomorrow is at 1:40 be Shane Boz versus Griffin Canning. Griffin Canning is 6-2 with a 3.2 ERA. Recently, for Mr. Canning, he gave up 4 earned runs against the Nationals last time out. But the time before that, he went 6 shutout against the Dodgers, who's probably the best lineup in baseball. But before that, he gave up 3 earned runs in back-to-back starts. So this is a guy who's his furthest he's ever gone is 6 innings. He hasn't thrown. He threw 102 pitches versus the Cardinals. Since then, he hasn't thrown more. He actually threw 9 against the Dodgers. So, but I reference that because in the 2 starts against the Dodgers the time before and the White Sox, he only went 2 2/3 and 3 innings in each of those starts respectively. So another guy that was he was with Anaheim for a long time and with the Angels, and he was another kind of reclamation project by the Mets. He was 6-13 last year. The Mets saw something similar with Clay Holmes, turned him into a starter, and all of a sudden he's 6-2 with a sub 3.5 ERA, which is very good. And obviously for the Rays, it's going to be Shane Boz, who kind of same with Taj Bradley. He's been really inconsistent as of late. What Shane Boz are we going to get? He's still 5-3, 4.9 ERA, but he's given up 3 runs his last 3 outings, and it hasn't been the how do I explain this? It hasn't been the peaceful 3 runs. Like for example, against the Astros when the Rays ended up winning 13-3, he went 5 2/3, but that outing kind of really got away from them, and it was ended up being the Rays obviously offense exploding, but some key defensive plays, the bullpen coming in, and because with Shane, it's been when it goes bad, it goes really bad. And we'll see if he'll be able to hold this potent Mets offense in check tomorrow. But the Rays are at the luxury where they don't need Shane Boz to be perfect tomorrow. They won the series already. They're going to go back with at least a 500 road trip. Now they can start to get greedy. And I think they're more than capable and honestly able to sweep the Mets tomorrow. I think the starting pitching matchup is very even. I think Shane Boz's stuff is better than Canning's. So it's going to be really interesting to see. But let's get to the comments. We'll start with Jack's takes. He said, mission accomplished. He's referring to the Rays getting at least a 500 on the road trip. And in what fashion? Love how this offense has turned he says the worm. I assume he means like curve or something. But it's really good to see the offense get going, especially consistently. We've seen this offense score 7 runs, then 1 run, right? Like in Houston, where they outscore the Astros by 1 million and end up splitting the series. Really good to see them put back-to-back games together. And then we see I Love Lego say, good evening. This Rays offense has been unstoppable. Take the series sweep tomorrow and then come back home and beat the O's. Yeah, the Orioles have been one of the best teams in baseball recently. I mean, they were really hot recently. I believe they won again. They did. They beat the Angels again today. So, I mean, they're coming in on a real high note. And, Zach Eflin's going to pitch one of those games, and Charlie Morton is. So the Rays are going to face two former Rays pitchers. But this is why it was so important to go at least 500 on this road trip, because the Orioles were coming in. They've been hot. And then after that, you get the Tigers coming in, who are the best team of the American League. So really big homestand coming up. So it was essential for the Rays to go at least 500 on this road trip, which they did. So I love Lego says again, if Josh Lowe, Rasmussen, and Belau stay healthy, then we're in a good spot for a wild card playoff contention. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Rays are kind of solidly in a spot, as solid as you can be with like 90 games left in the season, obviously. But, they're like 2 up on a playoff start right now. So he's been really good. As Mike talks about, happy for Walls, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, a sac bunt, average almost up to 220. Yeah, he's been really good. He also talked about Mets fans who are not happy. Yeah, they're a impatient fan base to say the least. So, Rail says, let's go Rays up. Yes, sir. Just I can't emphasize enough how big this game was for the Rays to not have to worry about what happened in Boston, losing the middle game of the series and having to scrap and claw to a potential kind of rubber match on Sunday. And the Rays were able to avoid that. And again, the Rays have really dominated both these games. Like after the 4th inning today, the game was never really in doubt. And even though the Rays gave up that big inning yesterday with the bases loaded, again, the Rays, I felt like they were always outplaying the Mets. It was just a silly mistakes kind of tripping them up. And I think even something we have to highlight is the combination of the bullpen in this one. The Rays, I mean, I would say B- C bullpen, obviously outside of Clevenger. Kelly, Solster, Clevenger, Engler. They combined to go the last 4 innings and not allow a single run, just 4 hits. So just huge that they were able to rest Pete, rest Orzi, rest Uceta, and which they were going to do anyway, and be able to win and hold them really in check through with that bullpen. So just absolutely huge. As I was talking about, it's going to be tricky when Pistachios and Kim get off the IL. The difficult part is what will happen to Magnum and Meisner. Curtis and I've been on record of saying he's going to be the first one to go, and then I think it's going to be Meisner. I mean, or unless they cut bait with Morel by then, who literally never plays, and I don't see where he's going to play because the Rays face straight righties coming up. I mean, the Rays don't face a lefty until after the Tiger series, so that's going to be a long kind of time for both of them to see playing time. Let's talk about a little bit of Zach Eflin. If they'll do a tribute, I mean, I'm sure they'll do a tribute for Zach Eflin, at least some sort of recognition for him. I mean, look, guys, I mean, he was a good pitcher for the Rays. I get what he said about the Rays and playing in front of a real crowd, but you just be a little mad that he was traded. He was from near the area. I believe he was from Sarasota, if I'm not mistaken. So again, no ill will towards Zach Eflin. Obviously wish him the best of luck in every game except for when he plays the Rays. I believe it's either on Monday or Tuesday he pitches. So, but we're focused on potentially getting the sweep tomorrow. And it starts with Shane Baz having another big outing. Hopefully he can, the Mets are going to get hits. Their offense is too good. They're going to get runs. But can he put them at a time that is less advantageous for the Mets? Can he get a shutdown inning after the Rays score 2? Can he get out of jams, right? Can he hold Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor to getting hits with no one on base, one person on base, right? Those singles or doubles with no one on base, 2 outs, right? Those are the things I'll be looking for. And obviously his stuff, his curveball and changeup have been really good lately. How much did he throw the slider? Obviously the slider's been a big no pitch for him. He's given up over, I'm thinking, half his home runs on it so far. So it's going to be really interesting to see a big start for Shane Baz tomorrow. But obviously the Rays going for the sweep tomorrow. I appreciate everyone for stopping in. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon, hopefully talking about a Rays sweep. See you then.